Greetings, everybody, all bodies. I am Jam Boom Boom. And this video is a continuation of the astrology, divination tools, and storytelling series. So this video is all about creating and establishing the parameter of the world that you're creating. I might have said creating twice, but yes, essentially that's it. And so we have our four corners here. We'll say, I'll edit this in like post-production, but we have below the horizon and above the horizon. And to sum it up, it's basically just the seasons. So up here, we'll have spring or Taurus. We'll have summer or Leo. We'll have fall or Scorpio. And we'll have winter or Aquarius. And we're going to establish this world by playing marbles. Fucking love marbles. Been playing them as a kid. Childish as fuck. So, let me see. As always, you know, ain't nothing that I'm saying loud. Shout out to India. This is all just an exploration. And, you know, clearly you can do this all mentally. But, you know, the fact that we can take out from our internal natures into the external world, be able to see our internal world through the tools that we utilize, thus making the world more real, more in this reality. Shout out to my toes. So yeah, I encourage you all to create your own methods, and I encourage you all to make your own twist on this method that I'm really just experimenting with. And yeah, so let's get into it. So make sure, first and foremost, it took me a while to get this set up. So make sure that you have a level surface. I'm laughing at myself because, like, I would put the surface on a lot of different, you know, surfaces, and the marbles on a lot of different surfaces, and they would just lean to the left, lean to the right. I'm like, look, I'm no physicist, but something's just off here. So it took me a while to get here. I'm on some carpet, you know, if you can go on the grass, just somewhere that is leveled, because then there'll be that, you know, quote unquote bias, like everything will just lean this way. Oh, you have a whole winter or fall, like with however you establish it. So yeah, first and foremost, have a level surface. Then you want to just get your marbles. It doesn't matter how many. Originally I was thinking like 12, but I just decided to just throw them all in the center. Then get your shooter, you know, a bigger one, or just establish which one will be the shooter. And so from here, yeah, this is how we're going to establish how far the characters go in the world. Oops, see, look, they're already leaning. How far the characters could go in the world. Where does the world start? Where is going to be the main focal point? And it doesn't necessarily have to be the season, because as creators, we understand that we can deduce the gematria from where these four corners are pointing to. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to do a shot that's going to aim towards the north, the east, the south, and the west. So give us 4 shots and, you know, 4 opportunities to allow the marbles to fall where they will. So let's go. This is my north. Okay. Let's go east. Come on, tripod. Let's go. Let's go south. Get you some good shots. You know what I'm saying? Get you some good shots. Oop. All right. Let me straighten this out a little bit more. So as we can see, the action, well, actually, we'll get into that later, but you can see that the marbles went in that corner, aka this is the summertime. It looks like it's all established right here. So grab my handy dandy pen and notebook, and I'll just be talking like on the side for the rest of the video, basically. So yeah, so as you can see right here, you have the majority of the marbles landing in the summertime. And it kind of looks like it's coming from like transitioning from spring, summer, and then it's some winter as well. So don't get it confused. When I say like these seasons, I'm not necessarily saying like that's the weather outside. We can deduce the gematria and say that perhaps the character is in a fixated portion of their actions, resonating with Leo characteristics. So in this way, we could establish and say that the world starts and begins in a spring, in the spring. Because as you can see, just from how it's formulating here, the marbles formulate, it goes from, you know, starting, heavy, ending. And then the winter kind of gets ignored just for now. So we can say that the parameter goes as far as or pays a lot of attention to the summertime. So again, that's deducing. We can use the stars and from our personal experiences and what we just know about the summertime. You know what I'm saying? The summertime is going to be like the center stage where the heat, the heat of the action, the battle really like literally heats up for your world. So we know that this world is really focused on fixed fire. It's really focused on staying grounded in your passions and your visions, no matter how delusional or based in reality it may seem. I'm going to start from just establishing the world just as far as like a city. So again, this is completely up to your discretion on how you decide to interpret, you know, again, what the summertime means to you, what the world means to you. So I'll say that this is something that it starts in the summertime. The action starts, the action starts in the springtime, or the original thought or feeling is springboarded in the spring about what we're going to do in the summertime. So I'm just, just going off of experiences, a group of friends, they about to go to Cancun for the summer. Let's just make it, let's always remember to bring it 3D. You know what I'm saying? Let's always remember to bring it 3D, but we can still at least get into the occult science behind it of like, okay, this is what we're actually working with behind the scenes. So group of friends about to go to Cancun for the summer. All right. And we get that idea during spring break. Like, yeah, maybe spring break, we ain't do nothing. Maybe spring break, we decided to lay back, but during spring break, we're planning our Cancun trip for the summertime. We laying low for the springtime, but we really gonna pop off during the summertime. So this is where the root of the action, or the majority of the action, the root starting in the spring, the majority of the action gonna be taking place in summertime. So that's from like the 3D perspective, the third house space, but then we can also go internally as well in saying that each character, or perhaps even one character, has this vision of what's going to go down during, their trip. Maybe one character really is just trying to get it in. Like, oh, I'm about to smash everyone at this Cancun trip. Another character really just wants to have some alone time, really just wants to be fixated in their alone time. Another character, and again, you can deduce the gematria from that. And so just keeping in mind, again, what the summertime brings, it's extreme transformation, but it's also fixed in the same way. It's also taking center stage and taking pride in that which you are fixed in. So going into, so that's where the center stage of the action is going to be according to how the marbles fell. But then you can see here that, it kind of trickles down into some fall. So what I'm getting from that is just this idea that there are consequences to the actions that happen. Consequences that can kind of lead into the next season. The season of the story. So it's given, I know what you did last summer. Maybe it's something that you took back from the trip. It is extremely transformative. So it's gonna be something that, when you go back home to what you're, familiar with, what happened in the summertime is gonna go with you. And that can be something that you learn, something that you lost, something that essentially transformed you as a person. And so now paying attention to what is lacking. So again, that's completely up to you. You can reverse it and say, because there's so much action over here, we're actually going to focus on the winter and the springtime. So I'll just keep with the original concept that I started with, and that's the absence of action in this place. So this actually can work a lot of different ways, because we know that on the surface is the action, right? But the sun is always reflecting the earth. We are on a body of water. So this is only reflecting what it is that we're looking at, and we're in an established place. So because these characters are so bent on transforming themselves, that means internally they could see themselves in a trapped place, in a dead place, in a wintry place, kind of physically saying, oh, all I need to do to spice up my life is go to Cancun. So by focusing on where the marbles aren't, where they're absent, This can be how you focus on the internal natures of your character. Their heart space is in a wintry place or in a spring place. They're just getting over something. Say that the semester is ending, going back to the original example. The semester is ending, you know, so it's still that like, oh, I just can't wait to get up out of this. I can't wait to get up out of this. And then, oh, we got this idea to go to, hey, oh, but it transformed us and no. So you can see it from that perspective as what is reflecting the main action. And there's always going to be a reflection. That's the world, the reality that we're in. It's always going to be, as far as the human experience goes, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think as far as like what another example would be for, you know, the four corners that are kind of desolate. We know that there has to be four corners for the world. Also saying what can be filled up. What can be resolutions to say that some situation happens in Cancun, a transformative situation happens, and it's something that you have to bring death to the winter time. It's something that you have to let go of officially. And this could be, you know, this idea, say that, I'm imagining girls trip, but say that, you know, you go out and you realize that you probably went a little too far. Like, oh, maybe they taking a drug that I ain't trying to take, or, you know what, I don't want to go down that alley. I don't know, I'm gonna have to dead that. I'm gonna have to go and separate myself from and see what my limits as far as how far I can go in this fixated, fiery place, but I'm gonna have to let go. It's given very much like these desolate areas are given very much what you can work with behind the scenes, how you can make the character more complex, and how you can make the world more complex. Like I said, we know that this is going to be the bulk of the action, but places in that world could be what represents the winter, what represents the spring. You have people in Cancun who have Airbnbs, but then you also have people who actually live in Cancun and go about their regular life, and they're not about that life, that vacation life. They're more about, you know, being at home and, you know, we just love to be in Cancun. These people, you know, these locals can end up, you know, anthropomorphizing, shout out to Dolo, excuse me, can end up representing, you know, kind of like this recluse, or, you know, kind of a getaway from the crazy life of this vacation. Oh, I'm gonna just go kick it at the bar with a local. And then from that experience, what they're talking about in that conversation, like, yeah, my friends is going wild. I just need to get away from it all. I can't wait till this trip is over. That can be, you know, personified through a wintry type character or a spring type character, because you can still initiate new ideas within this transformative space. You're not, you know, there could be a character who isn't exactly fixed in that world. So again, this is, you know, this is like hypotheticals. This is experimentation, but with that grand idea that we're creating this world. How far can the character go? And by you establishing that as the creator, you're always going to have boundaries. You know, it's not to say to put boundaries on your creativity or on your chaos, but in order for it to be relatable to the realm that we're in, you're going to have to work with the quote unquote rules that are here. And I only say rules just because these are just our given situations, our given circumstances in this reality. Some people choose to accept them. Some people choose to go beyond them. That's that equilibrium, you know, we'll get into that later too. But this is purely just to establish the world both externally and internally for your character. And this is using marbles in order for you to establish that boundary and create that world, both internally, externally. I'll holler at y'all later.